My name is Charlotte. I am 27 years old, and for most of my life, I believed I was the extra piece in my own family. Not unwanted exactly, just unnecessary. Growing up, my parents had two daughters, my older sister, Emma, and me. Emma was perfect. At least, that's what everyone said. She got straight A's, she played piano, she smiled in family photos like she belonged on a magazine cover. And me? I was quiet, average, invisible. I don't remember the exact moment I realized my parents always chose her over me, but I remember how it felt. Like standing in a room full of people who could see you, but never really looked at you. When I was 8, I entered a school art competition. I worked on that painting for weeks. I stayed up late, mixing colors, trying to make something beautiful enough to be noticed. The day of the award ceremony, I searched the crowd for my parents. They weren't there. Later that night, I found out why. Emma had a piano recital, and my parents said it was more important. They didn't even ask how my competition went. I had won second place. That was the first time I learned something painful. In my family, love wasn't equal, it was earned, and I was always behind. As we grew older, the difference became louder. When Emma needed a new laptop for school, she got the newest model the next day. When I asked for help paying for my textbooks, my parents said money was tight. When Emma made mistakes, they said she was under pressure. When I made mistakes, they said I lacked discipline. I kept trying harder, better grades, better behavior, less complaining. I thought if I became good enough, they would finally choose me too. But every time there was a choice, it was always her. The clearest moment came when I was 16. I had been selected for a state-level debate competition. It was a huge opportunity, the kind that could help me get into college. I was nervous, but proud. I needed one thing from my parents, just one, to be there. But on the same day, Emma had a dance performance. My parents didn't even hesitate. They told me, "You're strong, you'll understand." And just like that, I understood something else. I was strong because I had no choice but to be. I went to that competition alone. I spoke in front of judges, in front of strangers, and I won. When I came home with the trophy, my parents smiled politely. Then they asked how Emma's performance video looked online. That night, I cried quietly, not because I lost them, but because I realized I never really had them. Years passed. Emma went to a prestigious university. My parents paid for everything: tuition, apartment, expenses. I worked part-time jobs and took student loans. They told me independence would build character. Maybe they were right, because independence also builds distance. After graduation, I moved to another city. For the first time, I lived in a place where nobody compared me to anyone else. I built a small life of my own, a modest apartment, a stable job, friends who listened when I spoke. It wasn't glamorous, but it was peaceful. Then came the invitation that changed everything: a family reunion. I hadn't seen my parents in 2 years. Part of me didn't want to go, but another part still hoped. Hope is stubborn like that. When I arrived, nothing had changed. My parents surrounded Emma with praise. They introduced her to relatives like she was their greatest achievement. When they introduced me, they said, "This is Charlotte. She lives in another city." That was it. No pride, no warmth, just information. For a moment, I felt that old familiar ache, the invisible weight of being second place in your own story. But something inside me was different now. I wasn't a child waiting to be chosen anymore. During dinner, an aunt asked about our childhood. She smiled and said, "You two must have been treated equally. Your parents always loved you both so much." The table went quiet. I looked at my parents, then at Emma, then back at my aunt, and calmly, without anger, I said something I had never said before. I love my family, but they didn't choose me the way they chose her, and it took me years to understand that my worth isn't decided by who chooses me. No one argued, no one denied it. Silence sometimes tells the truth louder than words. After dinner, my mother approached me. She said, "You always seemed so independent. We thought you didn't need us." That sentence explained everything. They didn't choose my sister because they loved me less. They chose her because they believed she needed them more, and they believed I would survive without them. And they were right. I did survive, but surviving and feeling loved are not the same thing. That night, I walked outside alone. For the first time, I didn't feel rejected. I felt free because I finally understood something powerful. Being overlooked didn't make me less valuable. It made me stronger than they ever realized. Today, I still talk to my family. Our relationship is polite, distant, careful. Emma and I are no longer rivals. She carries her own pressures I never saw before, and I carry something she never had to learn, how to stand alone and still feel whole. If you've ever felt like the second choice, if you've ever wondered why love didn't come to you the way it came to someone else, please remember this. Your worth is not measured by who chooses you. It's measured by who you become when no one does. My parents chose my sister every time, but life chose me in a different way. And for the first time, I'm grateful for that.